Do you study history of peacocks and crocodiles? No. Why not? Because they don't have history. Why don't they have history? Very often I find that these 5th grade students tell me that they don't have history because they don't speak. And that's absolutely true. We create culture because we are the only species given the gift of language. Language is the source of our creativity. Now, what had happened in the ancient world, in the Middle Ages, Bible in 20, the elite had a highly developed language, whether it was Hebrew, Greek, or Latin, or Sanskrit, or Arabic. But this was the language of the elite. Take India, for example. Vedas, the sacred scriptures of Hindus, were not written down. They were oral. They were not translated. They were in Sanskrit. Women and the lower caste were not allowed to study Sanskrit. So, the Brahmin male had the monopoly of knowledge. You speak your vernacular, but the Vedas are not available in vernacular. Now that was the situation in Europe. The priests know the word of God, they have knowledge, they have wisdom, because all knowledge is in Latin. But the average person in England doesn't speak Latin. In France, in Germany. Culture, therefore, is primitive because a culture can only go as far as its language will take. A culture. Now, this was in fact one reason why the universities in England were against translating the Bible into English. That English is such a primitive language, only Chaucer had existed at that point, that the Word of God cannot possibly be translated into English. But what has happened in these 500 years is that the Bible translators have transformed these oral dialects into powerful languages. In my own country, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the national languages of Hindi, Urdu and Bengali these were oral dialects which didn't have any prose, didn't have any literature. They had some poetry, people spoke them, but it was the Bible translators who really created these languages. The Bible now exists in over 2,000 languages. In most of these languages, the alphabets, grammar, dictionaries are creations, products of the Bible translators. Now, in as much as Bible is the fundamental, language is the fundamental tool that human beings use in all creativity, in creating culture, is these Bible translators who have gone to these remote tribes, turned these oral dialects into powerful literary languages where a 1,000, 1,500 page book can be translated. They have done the most foundational work for development of these tribes and races and people. They've created the modern world. Well, I must close there today. Let's recap. The heretics who were murdered, who were burnt alive because they were translating the Bible, they are the people who have created the modern world, and that's the story we will be looking at during these 7 weeks. They essentially snatched the authority from the church and the university and gave it to where it belonged, to the Bible. The Bible is the authority. They took power from the elite, gave it to the powerless, weak individuals. They took dialects, oral, which are poor dialects, turned them into powerful literary languages where the whole cultures can then advance, which became really the source of creating the modern world. I wanted to talk about the moral transformation because the battle was against corruption and it was those countries where the Bible became an open book, that corruption was fought back and a moral transformation began to take place in whole society. But that's a subject which we'll probably have to pick up another day. So thank you very much.